All right, so today we're diving into something that is making a lot of noise in the financial world. GameStop. GameStop. They've decided to adopt Bitcoin as a Treasury reserve asset, and it's got everybody talking, investors, analysts. Everybody's got it trying to wrap their heads around it. This whole thing got the green light. Full approval from the board of directors, unanimous decision. So yeah, definitely a big deal. So what we're looking at here is GameStop potentially taking a chunk of their. They've got pretty sizable cash reserve. We're talking report say around $4.6 billion. Maybe north of 4.75 billion, and they might just plow some of that straight into Bitcoin. Or again, maybe they'll do it through some future. Again, all Frank's equity offerings, who knows? But the point is they're serious about this Bitcoin thing. Now, the company hasn't actually come out and said exactly how much Bitcoin they're planning to buy. But when a big traditional company like GameStop makes a move like this, you can't help but think of strategy. Formerly MicroStrategy, they went all in on Bitcoin, and well, they kind of became synonymous with Bitcoin. And a lot of people are looking at GameStop and thinking, are they trying to pull strategy here? I mean, it could be a smart move. Bitcoin's becoming more and more mainstream. It's seen as a real growth asset these days. But then again, some people are saying this is more of a defensive strategy for GameStop. Like maybe their core retail business isn't doing as well as they'd like. So they're shifting gears, trying to find relevance in the crypto world. It's fascinating. And it's all happening as they release their fourth quarter earnings. So yeah, a lot to unpack here. So let's talk about the stock market's reaction to all this. Because, well, it was pretty immediate and pretty dramatic. As soon as the news hit GameStop's stock price, it just shot up. We're talking a serious surge. Extended trading on March 25th and into the early hours of the 26th, the stock jumped by over 12%. To be exact, it went up almost 6% to $26.85 in that extended trading period right on the day of the announcement. And then Wednesday morning, pre-market trading things got even crazier. It jumped nearly 17%, then 13.4%, then 16%, and finally over 15%, bringing the pre-market price all the way up to $29.06. Yeah, it's pretty clear that this rally was fueled by the excitement around GameStop's Bitcoin strategy. But analysts at Capital.com, they've pointed out that by linking their fortunes to Bitcoin, GameStop's stock is probably to be a lot more volatile, kind of like Bitcoin itself, up one day, down the next. And it's important to remember that even with this recent surge, GameStop stock was still down almost 19% for the year. So let's see what the experts are making of all this. Wall Street analysts, especially over at Wedbush, they've been pretty bearish on GameStop. They're holding a sell rating on the stock. Now, they did bump up their 12-month price target a bit from $10 to $11.50, but they're still predicting a pretty significant downside around 59.45% over the next year. Michael Patcher, an analyst at Wedbush, he's pretty convinced that GameStop is not going to be profitable anytime soon. He doesn't see them turning an operating profit this year, next year, or even the year after. He even went so far as to call GameStop a rich man's MicroStrategy, implying that it's kind of an overvalued asset for those who maybe aren't so happy with MicroStrategy's performance. And yeah, the reasons why analysts have been negative on GameStop, bills are still there. The challenge is making a profit, the constant changes in strategy. But it's interesting to see that GameStop stock traders don't seem to be bothered by all this negativity. The stock's still soaring. So let's dig a little deeper into GameStop's financial performance and all the strategic changes they've been making. It's no secret, but their main business, their brick and mortar stores, they've been having a tough time attracting customers. And that's why they've been making this big shift towards e-commerce. Now, under their CEO, Ryan Cohen, they've closed down a ton of their physical stores. Just last year alone, they shut down about 1,000 stores. 590 of those were in the United States, bringing the total down to 2,325 as of February 1st. Over 330 stores were closed in Europe, and almost 50 in Canada and Australia. So you look at the big picture. The number of GameStop stores globally has plummeted from around 6,000 a decade ago to just 3,203. And this is mainly because people are changing the way they buy games. They're going online or using streaming services. Now, looking at their fourth quarter results, GameStop reported $1.283 billion in revenue, which is actually less than the $1.48 billion that analysts were expecting. But their adjusted earnings per share came in at 30 cents, which was way more than the predicted 8 cents. And their net income for the fourth quarter was $131 million, more than double the $63 million they reported for the same period last year. Now, they said earlier they've got a mountain of cash on hand, around $4.6 billion at the end of the third quarter of 2024. Some reports even say they've got over $4.75 billion in reserves. But it's worth to note that GameStop's overall strategy has been a bit of a moving target. I mean, they've changed direction about 6 times in the last 3 years. And yeah, this whole Bitcoin thing, this isn't GameStop's first rodeo with digital assets. They'd actually tried to get into the blockchain space before. There were blockchain as the tech behind cryptocurrencies. They tried to launch an NFT marketplace, NFTs. Those are basically digital collectibles, but that initiative, well, didn't exactly go as planned. Some would even call it inglorious. They also shut down their crypto wallet service in late 2023. And their NFT marketplace, they had to scale it back in early 2024, blaming it on regulatory uncertainty. So there's definitely some history here. And there are a few other things to keep in mind that might help explain this shift in strategy. GameStop was, right at the center of that whole meme stock frenzy back in 2021, which caused their stock price to skyrocket for a while anyway, driven by all the hype on social media. And more recently, there was some buzz online about GameStop's potential interest in Bitcoin, because, CEO Ryan Cohen posted a picture with Michael Saylor, the chairman of strategy. But turns out Saylor wasn't involved in any of GameStop's internal talks about crypto. Interestingly, though, Matt Cole, the CEO of Strive Asset Management, he wrote the letter to Ryan Cohen suggesting that GameStop should invest their cash reserves in Bitcoin. He even said that GameStop could become the premier Bitcoin treasury company in the gaming industry. This whole thing, it also comes at a time when digital assets are getting a lot more attention. And, President Donald Trump, he's been pretty vocal about his support for crypto. Some people think that could lead to a more crypto-friendly regulatory environment. And there have been reports that more and more companies are starting to convert their cash reserves to Bitcoin ever since Trump won the election in November 2024. And just to give you an idea of where Bitcoin's at right now, it's trading around $88,000. It's down from its peak in January after hitting that six-figure all-time high a couple of months ago. So to wrap this all up, GameStop's decision to make Bitcoin a Treasury reserve asset is a big move. It takes them beyond their traditional retail business and into the ever-changing world of digital assets. It's a strategy that mirrors what companies like Strategy are doing, and it's a bet on Bitcoin's potential for growth. But it's happening against a backdrop of skepticism from Wall Street analysts who aren't convinced about GameStop's long-term profitability and who are worried about the volatility of crypto investments. And GameStop's past forays into digital assets haven't exactly been smooth sailing, which adds another layer of uncertainty to this whole thing. It's going to be really interesting to see how this all plays out for GameStop and for the wider corporate world as more and more companies start dipping their toes into the digital asset pool. If you found this analysis insightful, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the latest financial trends and news. Thanks for listening.